Hello and welcome to The Story and the Song. My name is Adri. I'm a singer-songwriter from the west coast of BC, Canada, otherwise known as Turtle Island. Thank you for tuning in. If it's your first time here, welcome. Make sure to like and subscribe to our channel if you want to stay connected to what we're doing and our latest episodes. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. We also have an email list. It's on my Instagram. The links are in the show notes below. So take a look as to where that is, so you can find the link in my. There's a link in my bio, and you can sign up for our emails as well, just in case these episodes get lost in the algorithm of YouTube and Spotify. This can be more of a direct communication between us, which I think will be good. So that is there for you now. And if you're vibing on the episode, make sure to leave a review, leave a comment, leave a like. All those things are very much appreciated to help this channel along. And of course, we love the feedback. So make sure to send that our way. We are on our third episode of 2026. We've got lots more episodes coming your way, so make sure to stay tuned. But this artist we have coming up, he is based here in Vancouver, on the west coast of Canada. He's a Canadian artist. He's been in the music industry for 20 years. His name is Scotty Hills. He is this soulful singer, and he has got a Juno nomination with his previous band, The Perpetrators. He has been in the rooms where songs were being written for Rihanna. He just released his album called Okay Love You Bye, so make sure to check that out. It's a really amazing piece of work. So make sure to follow him on all the streaming channels and show him your support. So I know you guys are going to be dying to hear about how this whole Rihanna thing happened. So we get into that. We get into how he got his start in music, and where that all began for him, and some of the challenges he faced on the way, and how he's thriving now here in Vancouver. So I'm excited for you guys to hear this conversation. And I was so thrilled to sit down and talk with him. So here it is. Enjoy.
Yeah,
Happy to be here. And I just have so many questions because you've done so much over the years, and
a lot of stuff. Yeah, a lot
yeah,
of years.
yeah. But before we get into all of that, I was curious. Like, I was looking at your profile, like you're from Saskatoon, and then it looks like you made a trip to LA, and now you're here in Vancouver. Like, what is it about Vancouver that made you want to come, like, settle down here, like having been to those like more big music hubs, where like more opportunities would be? Like, what was it that drew you here to Vancouver?
Yeah, I think it was purely circumstantial. I didn't really I didn't have an intention really to go, oh, I'm going to go to Vancouver and it's going to be that I'm going to try to make my life in Vancouver. It was more circumstantial, more like more pandemic circumstantial stuff.
Okay.
I was living on Vancouver Island, and then I was living off grid in Vancouver Island for the whole pandemic. So I lived in a beautiful spot, my friend's property. It's like the last property before the road got cut off on Renfrew Road in Shawnigan Lake. So it's about, like a half a kilometer away from any neighbors or anything like that. So there's no, it was right at the end of the service road or whatever. So long story short, short story long, I was coming back from Nashville,
Mm-hmm.
and I landed in my friend said, yeah, you're back on the island. Come and stay at the cabin that you used to stay in while you get your, like come stay in the cabin for a bit. And I thought, maybe a month or two tops, and then I'll see what's happening. So a week after I got back from Nashville, it was March of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And then so literally a week after I got back, everything shut down. And before that, I was on the way back from Nashville. I had stopped in Winnipeg, and I had stayed in Winnipeg for a couple of months, and I reconnected with an old friend who's a really great musician songwriter as well.
Yeah.
Named Jess Eyre.
Okay.
And we started writing songs. And so and she had friends out on Vancouver Island too. So I invited her to come out to the island to record these songs that we wrote while I was there, and we were getting together and writing these tunes, right? And she had a bunch of tunes. I was helping her finish them, la la la. So she ended up flying out, and it was like literally 2 days after. That's when everything shut down.
Wow.
And we had there was no it was just like,
no.
Oh, we can't, the flights are,
Yeah.
So our plans, the place that we planned to record was just across the river from this little A-frame 200 square foot cabin that I was living in with no running water, where we were going to stay and just like play house for a while and just like write songs and do this pandemic thing. And just hang out for a week or something. Then the pandemic hit. So we were going to just go across the river and then across this train bridge and then go to the studio, like in the rural part, like kind of closer to Duncan in BC and on the island.
Mm-hmm.
And so that all shut down. So that sort of turned our whole trip upside down.
Oh, okay.
So we were in this A-frame cabin, and it had 2 rooms. So it was like a little tiny cabin, but it had most of a wall between.
Yeah.
And so I'm the sort of person that's like, I take that stuff as like a problem to solve. Like, okay, what are we going to do? Because nobody was going to let us come and record, like, especially that first couple of weeks. It was like, nobody was doing nothing. I'm like,
no, we were like afraid to go to the grocery store. Like,
yeah. I'm like, but I have this attitude where it's like, I don't care if we have to go dig a hole and we're recording this record. Like, it was kind of one of those kind of things, right?
Right.
It's kind of like an exciting challenge. That's kind of part of my personality. So we ended, and there's this little cabin, and then like 20 feet away down on there's the Coquille River.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's middle of winter, so it's raging. It's like, it's about 10 feet high, and it's like, it's pretty loud. But it's very steady, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that as long as we could, well, I didn't know anything at that point. All I knew is I wanted to record this record. So I'm like, let's go to Home Depot. So Home Depot was still open, and there's
what are you gonna get at Home Depot to make a record?
Right. Well, we just started to board up the windows, and we started to board up we started to like fill any air cracks in this little summer shanty that we were living in, right? Mattresses against the window, and then another piece of plywood, and we we're screwing it up. So we actually got it quite nice and cozy in there, and to where the river was kind of a duller sound that we could filter out and whatnot.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I had my drums in the one little tiny space by the gray water toilet, and then there was another main space.
Yeah.
So we hooked everything up, and we made a really awesome record, which finally got released about 6 months ago or something. So a while ago now.
Nice. Well, I'll have to check it out.
I
haven't heard of that person before, so
I'll look it for
I'll
for
definitely
you. She was part of a group in Winnipeg called Sweet Alibi, which was a real touring concern for like quite a number of years, and I think they still do a lot of touring. But
cool.
Anyway, that was kind of the early pandemic story, and then from there, things happen. Time went on. The pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Met somebody over here that was dating, and
mm-hmm.
so I was spending a lot more time over here, coming over here to play Guilt & Co. and some different shows and stuff like that. And then I applied for a master's degree in music education,
Okay.
and got accepted but deferred. By that time, I was living over here.
Where was the school
Oh,
that
at
you?
UBC, yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, UBC.
Okay.
So, but it turned out it wasn't going to be for me
Okay. Okay. Fair.
anyways.
Yeah.
So, but I was already over here, sort of living over here,
Yeah.
and not only that, by the second year of the pandemic, it was in this cabin in the winter. It was a summer place. So
Yeah.
I was basically dry humping a oil heater like the whole
Right.
winter, and
Yeah.
it was so beautiful in the summer, but the winters were getting really cold and
Yeah.
isolating.
Okay. With the cabin. Yeah. Okay.
Nobody around, snowed in for days, that kind
Right.
of thing.
Okay. Yeah.
So
So it's probably a nice like shift in pace when you
I
started
got to
coming here a bit more.
craving the people and the white
Yeah.
noise again, and the
Yeah.
noise, the light pollution, and I kind of had a craving for that again,
Yeah.
and the nightlife and the music and what are people doing, and
Yeah.
so that was kind of where, and I knew that I didn't want to go back to a smaller place like Calgary. I lived in Calgary for a few years,
Right.
lived in Winnipeg for 8 years
Oh wow. Okay.
from Saskatoon.
Yeah.
Didn't want any of that business.
Okay.
So I was originally thinking maybe Toronto. I was thinking maybe UK. Like
Yeah.
I have roots in UK. Um, but the pandemic kind of was to
Yeah.
ruin the UK thing. Whatever, kind of put a damper on that. So Vancouver was just kind of circumstantial. It wasn't
Yeah.
like I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to Vancouver in a year and I'm gonna plan it and everything like that. It
Right.
just sort of ended up
Yeah.
here, and
Okay. Cool.
just
Sounds like
making
you've
it
got
work.
this kind of go with the flow, like kind of nomadic a little bit. Like you're just kind of like,
Yeah,
okay, I'm like done with this spot here.
Yeah.
Gonna move on now. And
yeah,
it seems like that works well for you and you can adapt
sure.
well. And I mean everywhere,
Yeah.
I mean in our profession, there's music everywhere. So
Yeah,
even
and you have to adapt and whatnot.
yeah. So
Yep.
nice. Well, let's talk a little bit about your start in music.
Mhm.
You started as a drummer
Mm-hmm.
on the prairies.
Again, nomadic,
Yeah.
traveling in the van for
Okay.
years and many miles. So
Yeah.
that going back to that theme of just your home is wherever you are that night, in whatever hotel room, and
Yeah.
that sort of lifestyle. So I think that added to what we were talking about just previously about
Yeah.
being adaptable to wherever you are.
For sure. And I think creative people are kind of we're a little bit
More
like that, I think. At
naturally.
least maybe not all of us though. Maybe some of us need a home base, but
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
everybody's different, but yeah,
Yeah.
definitely we're probably more nomadic.
Don't want to generalize. We're all individuals. Yeah.
Creatives, we crave adventure. We need experience and adventure to write things,
Yeah.
If we're not reading voraciously, we at least need to be traveling and seeing different things, and
Yes.
not just seeing the same four walls. That's why for me, in a place like this, if I don't keep aware, then it can kind of be dangerous too, right?
Right.
Living in the same surroundings all the time.
Right. Fair.
Anyway, yeah.
Okay.
So from lived in Winnipeg a long time.
Right.
Did a lot of touring as a youngster. Yeah.
As a youngster, like
kind of.
When did you pick up your first instrument? Like how old were you?
Well, I tell this story a lot, but I'm actually, the more I tell it, the more I'm kind of like, I'm proud of it. It's like my mom in Saskatoon. My mom was a radio jingle singer. She was like the first call for the singing in the studio for radio commercials.
Okay.
So when I was like 3 or 4 years old, she would just bring me along, and
Yeah.
I'd be in the car, and she'd turn on the Beatles or Anita Baker or something, and she'd get me to sing she'd be showing me the harmonies and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, Mom. So it was just a normal thing to be singing and finding harmony and stuff like that. And then so we'd get to the studio, and because I wanted to go, it was like we could have left with a babysitter, but I really wanted to go. And then before long, they needed a kid's part, so I was like natural to. She's like, okay, sign the union thing. And so by the time I was like 3 or 4, I was in the studio every other week doing kids parts for different brands,
Oh,
for
crazy.
commercial radio
Okay.
jingles
Yeah.
in big studios around
Okay.
Saskatoon, like big commercial studios. So that's kind of where I got my start.
Okay.
And then my parents were both musicians,
Okay.
but they wanted to steer us away
Oh,
from the thing, because they kind of grew up and got real, they didn't want us, they wanted us to be like different from them or something, they
right.
just typical, right? They wanted
Yeah,
something
don't
better than what they had or whatever,
right.
right?
Like, don't be the tortured artist kind of thing. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like, in general too, like, I feel like there is kind of this taboo about the path of an artist. It's not as
hmm,
like respected as most professions,
it's very true.
so I can see, like, depending on I'm sure the time period that your parents were in when you were little, they probably, yeah, they'd be like, just get a normal job,
Well, it wasn't so much get a normal job, it was like, it was almost more like do what we should have done. So I was pushed in, I was into hockey, I was
Oh,
hockey,
okay.
baseball,
Okay.
and I was really good at both of them. I really
Okay.
loved both of them
Yeah.
for a long time. Before we got a bit older, then it became way more political, way more about the
Okay.
politics of it and stuff like that. But I
Right.
really loved that stuff.
Yeah.
But it all kind of came like full circle. Uh, it was really weird. Like I never really took to like the band path,
Okay.
like reading music path and the school band sort of thing.
Right.
But I was always like the school band teacher's pet, even though I wasn't in the program. So
Okay.
so I always had like an innate musical thing happening with myself.
Right.
But just to a lot of degree, that was anyways, it was like, yeah, we're going to support you if you do sports, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Well, finally, 2006, with my band, The Perpetrators, at the time, we ended up going to the Juno Awards. We ended up getting nominated for a Blues Juno.
Yes. Yes.
And then it was the typical, oh, we always knew you could do it, and stuff
Oh,
like that. So it's that typical, that
okay.
atypical sort of
Right.
story, right?
You mentioned that you were traveling around in as a drummer. So, like, were you
Yeah,
in some bands like in those beginning times? Like,
sure, yeah, yeah.
because was the Perpetrators the first band you were ever in, or were there previous projects you were in for like before that
Yeah, so
kind of hit?
I was in Saskatoon, and I had the space in Saskatoon where I rented out to other bands. So I had drums in there and PA system. I had a little business going. And so in the daytime I'd get in there and I'd just play drums all day to the PA
Okay.
system, and stuff like that. So pretty soon I started answering ads,
Yeah.
whatever, country bands, wedding bands, and just playing bands. So I ended up starting in a country band that would tour in the northern prairies, a lot of like pretty rough bars, and we just go play weeks at a time, like 1 week or 2 weeks at a time at different hotels.
Okay.
And I'd just be playing with people that were a lot older than me, and I just wanted to just sing and play and learn, and
Hmm.
so that was my first experience. And then finally I got with this band called F, and they were from Montreal, and they were like a hip indie kind of
Hmm.
punk band. So we would tour around all around too. Then I got an offer. I was working the door at the blues bar in Saskatoon when I was quite young. And I got an offer to play with that band. And I wasn't crazy about the band.
Hmm.
And I just gotten off the road with this country band, and like the shit I seen, like it was basically like it was like the chicken wire scenario, and like 700 people dancing on a dance floor playing like CCR, and just like real rough alcoholism and real rough
Oh.
northern
Oh. Okay.
Manitoba type stuff, right?
Okay.
And I was just 19 at the time, so I was like, it was just too much for me. I was like, I don't want to
Right.
tour anymore. This isn't fun. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I just want to play, just want to create music, And
Yeah.
but then he said, "Well, would you like to come on the road with me?" I'm like, I think I'm done on the road for a
Right.
bit. And then he showed me the itinerary,
Oh.
and the itinerary was like Buddy Guy's Legends in Chicago, and like the Chicago Blues Festival, and like JJ's in Texas where Stevie Ray Vaughan got his start. So the part that you're missing there is I went from being like super grunge kind of first wave Nirvana type kid. And so in my high school age, coming to age around 19, and then I fell in love with like Chicago blues.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
and all those I just started collecting CDs of like blues guys, so and gals. When he said, would you like to tour, I was like, nah, not really. And then he showed me all these legendary
Yeah.
places,
Yeah.
and I could just get paid a retainer for the week to go for 3 months at a time into the States, into the Midwest, and just not have any expenses or anything like that. I was like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
So I spent like the next 2 years doing that.
Wow.
And then that's how I met the Perpetrators, because the two guys, Jay and Ryan, that were in the Perpetrators were alumni of this other band, Nigel Mack
Okay.
band.
Okay. Okay.
So once we stopped in Winnipeg, I met Jay and Ryan, and we really hit it off. And so
Okay.
a couple of years later, I would go to Winnipeg, found out that I had a son in Winnipeg.
Oh my God.
And so I was moving there to
Yeah.
be close to him.
Yeah.
And they lived in Winnipeg, and we met at the Regina Blues Festival. They said, hey, do you want we're looking for a new drummer, would you be? And I'm like, I'm actually moving to Winnipeg on Tuesday, I would love to be part of your band. And then that started off like a 5-year touring recording
Okay.
project.
Wow.
That
led to
like,
the Juno
that
nomination.
kind of a, yeah, it's sort of all yeah. So we all lived in the same house.
Yeah.
We
Cool.
you know, and
Nice.
did some, we all traveled together, lived together, traveled together. That's all we did for like 5 years. It was a pretty crazy time. It's
Nice.
kind of the best, it was like the best years of my life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I feel like I had that experience with my band Mudfunk. Like a lot of us lived in a shared house, and we did rehearsals in the living room, and we would like make food together, and just like, yeah, really like just a really special time. To just like be so close with those people, and just
just feel like
how
your
right bandmates
spot,
are
right?
in your like we kind of like your bandmates are your family kind of thing. So that's awesome you got to have that experience, and that's great how that lined up so well, that you were already planning on heading there, and like do you want to join the band? Like, I love those synchronicities, right?
The serendipitous, it's crazy, really, how it all works out. But
so you have this start as a drummer, and so when did songwriting kind of come into play?
Songwriting was kind of always there. We go back to when I was 7 years old. My dad was a songwriter. One of my favorite albums is an album by my dad, or my dad's, I guess, technically his only album. So 7 years old, I can remember this, and there's a cassette tape of it somewhere. Him and me getting together to write a song. Right, I'm gonna write songs, Dad. So we wrote 2 songs, an A and a B side, and one was called The Visit, and then the other one was called Someone's Gonna Pay. And they were all stuff that I wrote lyric wise, and he just would play like 3 chords. Nice. And we made this little recording.
Oh my God, fun. Do you still have it?
I don't know where it is. Somebody has it. I think maybe my dad has it or something, or maybe my mom has it. I don't know. But,
was it like on a cassette, or? Yeah,
it was just on like an
8-track
from the 80s, like some old no, just like a little push button dictaphone type of scenario or something like that. Yeah. Cool. And somebody has it somewhere. But so that's really, I was interested in songs and songwriting from the time I was like just a little kid, and but so it was always kind of in me. So I didn't start as a drummer. I started as a singer and as a guitar player in bands in high school and stuff. So again, the grunge era. But drums was kind of I was a real natural at like I could just sit behind the drum and just pick up a beat like right away. Like nothing genius or whatever, but just had the groove with the drums. So it was my easy way into kind of the industry. Right. Being able to, everybody needs a solid drummer.
That's true. Yeah.
So and my justification was, okay, I'm a writer and I'm a songwriter, I'm a singer, but I'm just really drawn to the drums, and I'm gonna, not only can I get paid for it, but like I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna learn what it's really like from behind there, like what the backbone of a good rhythm section is, of a good band is, of a good groove, And so I sort of like took it on like that sort of educational thing where, and who knows, maybe that was another form of kind of procrastination, or the, you know what I mean, to getting to the songwriting, to the art. Maybe.
Yeah, very well could be.
But
that does make sense.
Sometimes we don't always choose our path, you know. Sometimes something comes and bumps you along and chooses that thing for you, and it's like you get to experience something that you wouldn't experience if you just went, okay, I'm gonna plan out my whole life, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we can make a plan. What's the saying about, like, we can make a plan and then there's God's plan? Like, I don't believe in God. Like, I don't use the word God to describe my, like, you know, experience in life, but I know that you know, that saying is applicable to that kind of, like, we can try our best to plan things, but life will take you on many other different,
so John Lennon,
you know,
saying, you know, if you don't want to use the God, it's like life's what happens when you're busy making other plans.
Yes, that's the phrase I was thinking of. Yeah, exactly. So,
but I think that there is something to that procrastination too, or that hiding away from the space that you'd like, that maybe you'd like to take up, or you know. So of course we all dream about being the hero. We all dream about being the one in the spotlight, saying our truth and having our truth matter to other people.
Yes.
But sometimes there's just sometimes I'm for one, I'm proof that there's sometimes where that's just not always what happens. Sometimes you got to take a side street and play a different role. You got to support for another person that's doing that for a while or something like that, you know? So
yeah. And it's like each experience can kind of give you something that probably takes you into the next, right? So,
well, it helps me now with songwriting.
Yeah, I bet.
It helps me now with learning how to produce stuff, and okay, you know, it's all really pertinent stuff.
Yeah.
So
were you like, if you know, you had this, you've been writing songs since you were so young, like these projects that you were a part of, were you involved in the songwriting process, or were, as you just described, you were there to just support some of those projects? So when did you kind of start, like, contributing? Like, what band was it that you started kind of like working your songwriting skills in?
That would be the Perpetrators. I mean, unless we go back to high school, I was sort of fronting my 3-piece funk or sorry, not funk, like more like punk rock, grunge bands.
Okay.
You know, and so I was doing writing there. I was doing a lot of writing there.
Yeah.
And so that was technically where, like, you know, it was just, I was never not writing kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then when I turned to the drums, it was mostly covers all the time until I got with the Perpetrator. Well, then we got with Nigel Mack, who's an original artist.
Okay. Yeah.
That was him. He was doing everything.
Okay. Were you singing and drumming?
It was a little bit.
At
I didn't do that until a couple tours in with Nigel, and he says, "Hey, why don't you sing a song?" I'm like, oh, "Cool, okay."
Yeah, yeah.
And then when I got with the Perpetrators, I ended up doing a lot more of that. I sang. I was featured on vocals on with the Perpetrators for one song on each album, and I wrote a lot with them as well. I wasn't doing a ton of writing with them, but I was doing some of the writing with them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you've had this time in Saskatoon. You kind of, you know, lay down your musical roots.
Yeah.
You're starting to tour around. When do you go to LA? When does LA kind of, because there's kind of a big moment in LA, right? Where you're
so just a quick timeline. Move from when Perpetrators do their thing, 5 years, kind of start growing apart. I want to get more up front. I want to start doing more songwriting. We're blues, but they're going a bit more metal blues or something. They want to go in a little bit different direction, or heavier.
Okay.
I wanted to go more R&B, more I wanted to explore more of the soul and the R&B and stuff like that a little bit. So we kind of, I moved from Winnipeg, moved to Calgary for a bit, where more of my family was. My sister and my mom were there. So I decided to move to Calgary, try on a different scene, try on a different environment.
Yes.
And then met my wife at the time. I was like, we went to Vancouver Island for a trip.
Yeah.
And we said, I had roots there because I'd been there in between tours with Nigel when I was 19.
Okay.
So I visited some old friends in the Cowichan area.
Yeah.
And we fell in love with it again. And
Yeah.
and my friend said, hey, we have a house out here. So we ended up moving to Vancouver Island.
Okay.
But I still had connections to Calgary.
Right.
So there was a guy in Calgary named Randy, what was his last name now? Can't remember. He had a friend in LA who he went to high school with in Halifax, which was now the creative director of this publishing company that's now called Anthem, which used to be called Olay Majorly Indie.
Okay.
They were in cahoots with RocNation,
Right.
and with Timberland's company at the time, Blue something or other. So they put on these massive songwriting camps, right?
Okay.
So this is like umbrella era Rihanna type of thing, where Rihanna doesn't write her own, never wrote her own songs. What Rihanna does is so I come to find out, is they gather about 30 writers and they rent a massive studio. In this case, it was Westlake, where Thriller was done and We Are the World was done, and all these kind of crazy things. And they rent out the whole studio for like a week. So we're talking like, $100,000 just worth of studio fees before they fly everybody in and get. So, anyways, my friend Randy gave my CD, my newly released, self-released CD at the time, which was called Year of Septembers. This is 2013 now. To his friend that he used to go to high school with, that's now the creative director of this thing, that this company that's putting on these song camps. Wow. And he goes, love it. Oh my gosh, this is great. This guy is like going to be the wild card. Because at that time, even I was like 35, and you kind of do those things when you're like 22 and 23. Right. So I was like, but this guy's going to be the wild card. Love it, love it, love it. Let's get him down here. So he kind of, we signed the deal. We finally got the deal signed, and it was just magical, because I was on the Vancouver Island in this little country home. Yeah. And I got to fly down and do what I do, write songs, with like some of the best songwriters in the pop world, right? And so freaking out. And
because I don't know if you mentioned this part, but you said that this company was connected to Rihanna, but you were actually writing songs for Rihanna.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Right? Like, so, let's clarify this point.
Yeah. And this is fairly well documented too with Rihanna. So like, for example, for the song Umbrella, right, they put on many of these song camps, these $100,000, $150,000 song camps. They would put on multiple ones of them, just to just to get one song.
That is crazy to me. Like, right? 30 people, like those are so many ideas. Like, how do you even like, but that's how do they make that work? Do you all just like get together, write a song, and then it gets pitched? Is that kind of what happens?
No,
or
it's not like that. So 30 people arrive, we're all, and then it's like a daily thing. So you show up, you have your debrief, you have your breakfast burrito, whatever, and then they pair you off with a beat maker. There's a beat maker, or maybe two beat makers, a top liner, and then a singer or something. Mm-hmm. So there's like 5 or 6 or 7 spaces in that one studio space. Yeah. So you basically get paired off each day with a different group. Okay. And then you have 12 hours or 10 hours or something to create the song and like a pretty polished demo.
And like, then are you given any guidelines to that at all?
Nothing.
It has to be pop, obviously.
It has to be what's Rihanna gonna sing.
Holy.
Yeah. It was super high pressure. I loved every minute of it.
No doubt. I was gonna say, like, how did you manage the pressure of that situation? Yeah. Like, did you feel like you were ready for that?
I felt like I went down there feeling like I was absolutely ready and absolutely born to do that.
Okay.
100%.
Amazing.
It was just one of those things where it was so exciting. I was just putting out another record, and I was like, it was just really a feeling of I'm where I'm supposed to be, and
Yeah.
I can hang with all. It was that, but it was like maybe it wasn't that. Maybe it was just that I was so excited, and I knew that I had to feel like that if I was gonna not
Right.
fold, you know.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
But all I wanted to do was go there, be the first to show up, and be the last person to leave, and I wanted to leave there, validating the guy's choice to bring me down as an absolute wild card.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Fair.
So
Yeah.
to give you an example, when I first showed up there, he hadn't even told his assistant, who was a real high up in the company and a really like stuck up bitch, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Was like, who is this? Who from where?
Oh no.
From what? You know,
Oh,
this kind of
geez.
thing.
Oh,
And she just didn't like me. And
okay.
then that night she took me out and with one of the other writers, and we got like hammered.
Oh,
We had
okay.
sushi and then just got so drunk. And I basically like, you know, I told her in this, like we bonded basically.
Yes.
And I had a certain way of telling her to get her head out of her ass, and she had a way of telling me, well, you better do, you know, and we just kind of
Right,
found a
okay.
good common ground. Anyway.
That's good. Jeez.
So the first day I went in there hungover as hell.
Oh no.
But yeah, right away I was stuck in the room with like somebody who already had a hit with Rihanna, and like the guy who produced like Bitch Better Have My Money and all this stuff, like all
Wow.
these like A-listy people that have
Yeah.
done stuff with Adele and yada yada, this and that.
Wow.
So it was like really cool. But every day you
Yeah.
had to have a song done and ready first, so everybody would get into the main room afterwards and show the seven.
Cool.
Each group would show their songs at the end.
That's so cool.
And
like,
you know, and give support and feedback and whatever. And all the while you're sitting there where Quincy Jones sat to produce like Thriller, and you're just kind of going like, this is so cool. So I was like feeling like a tourist. But yeah, it was like it was a pretty big highlight, you know.
Yes,
Definitely.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
As much as I'm kind of like of two personalities where I'm like, to do that all the time would just make me gag. Like it would make me sick to have to try to produce music under those circumstances.
Right. Fair.
Unless I was getting paid a lot of money as a guarantee.
Right.
But the experience of it was cool. It was the full on like studio runners going, you know, what would you like for a sandwich? Can I get you another latte? Like it was an elevated, like,
yeah.
In some ways I was like, man, I'm like not supposed to be here, but in the other way I'm just like, I'm gonna.
But you are here.
Yeah. and then the very last day, the second last day, the song that I showed for the show and tell was really perking up, because of course you have the suits and ties in there now. You have Rihanna's like right hand people going, okay, what's happening here? What are we doing? What are any good ones? Can we feed the machine type thing?
Yeah.
And then the very last day we showed them the song, and they said, that's, you know, all of a sudden you hear the suits and ties as they're playing our song that I'm actually top lining on, and they're whispering. And the guy said, my creative director said afterwards, he says, that's the one they want. They're gonna ship it. They're gonna give it to her. Out of all the whole week, they said there wasn't really much, but that's the one they're gonna send.
Nice.
So I flew back to Vancouver Island just on cloud 9.
Oh my God.
I was like I was on the plane, like looking at real estate, you know, because I kind of knew the numbers by that time. It's like the songwriter that has 15 points or 20 points on like an umbrella or something like that. Like that's like dozens of millions of dollars just for that writer's share.
Is that how they do it? Like points?
Well, it's percentage, whatever you want to say. Points, percentage, same thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I came back literally thinking I was rich.
Yeah.
You know, literally thinking I had made it. I'm gonna buy a little cabin on Vancouver Island.
Oh my gosh.
And just be that songwriter that nobody's really heard of, but he did that one hit.
And what happened?
Well, the song was called Monster in Me. It's a great song, piano ballad, written on the piano that Ebony and Ivory was recorded with Paul McCartney, and you know, it was just such a trip, and Michael Jackson.
Wow.
And as I land, I hear Monster. The song's called Monster by Rihanna and Eminem.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm like, immediately I got this sinking feeling in my gut, like, ooh, that's not good. If Rihanna is doing a song called Monster with Eminem,
Oh.
she's probably not going to do a song called Monster anytime soon.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
So, anyways, so
Interesting.
we all had a conference call, like me and the two other writers and the creative director, and the other writer, Allison, she's just weeping. She's like, "Oh my god, I thought we had this song, blah, 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 blah." And it's just kind of the way it goes, right? And it's just
Yeah.
just the way that it goes.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was a bit of a heartbreaker for a bit.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Which we all experience as we're going. Like, you got to get used to rejection.
Totally.
You got to learn how to deal with that, because
it doesn't always go in your favor.
through it a lot as artists, right? Like, we apply for those festivals, we apply for those grants, we apply for this, that, and the other, or things just fall through, right? And
But oh my gosh, I mean, one of the best experiences ever. I literally, they had given me a $5,000 advance against any like I worked myself a really good deal. So basically I got an all expenses paid trip in
plus pay,
plus staying in a funky hotel with a tab and everything. Like, it was just like a total songwriter's fantasy tourism getaway. And having a song that and there was like, I had 7 copyrights from that time, some of which have done little tiny things, there's little, it's better than having not have done that for the SOCAN check, I guess. So
right,
you know what I mean?
So what do you mean by 7 copyrights? Like,
so we would have written, each day we wrote a song.
Oh, right. Okay. And did those songs get used like in some other artists?
Well, the way that it works is that nothing incredibly notable, but they would have been played on a subway in Japan or something like that, and something like that.
Okay. So those songs were actually released like somewhere.
Not necessarily released, but they would go into a catalog, or they would go into like a I'm not an expert on how it works, but I know that basically, as a writer, the writers have 50%, the publishing company has 50%. So the way they make their money back is to shop those songs to all kinds of different little things.
Oh, I see. So it's like,
could have been in a secondary market in Sweden for 2 weeks and gained $5.
Okay,
these kind of
I
things.
see. So that's smart. Yeah.
Stuff
like, why would you throw those songs away if you're going to invest all this money into making them? Like, you might as well like keep them for yourself, like, and then put them out on these other. Okay, I see that.
I wouldn't have done that.
No, but they would have. Yeah, I see that.
Through their channel, their publishing channels, stuff that wouldn't be, like I said, it would be nothing to put in a bio or anything like that. But it's just like streams of
a little bit of money
publishing,
here and there. Our songwriter royalties.
Yeah. But what a racket that whole thing is, to the pop sharecropping pop camp thing. So again, as an artist, as an artist who really tries to strive toward authenticity more and more and more, and like, it's kind of, in some ways, oddly, it goes against what I'm about.
Fair. Yeah.
So it's a weird paradox.
No, right? Like, who would say no to
exactly.
That? Like, no one would. Like, if you're a songwriter, like, you're going to that thing.
No, like, I just mean upon reflection.
Yeah, no, like hindsight kind of thing.
Yeah, it's sort of like, like they at that time they were doing them, was like, oh, how about go to Greece, to Santiago? Yeah, I'd love to do that, but for the people who do it day in and day out, that just write strictly for commercial things,
right? Okay.
I think that would get really old, unless you, like you said, unless you knew that unless you're making like millions a year. I guess maybe you could, they could buy your way out of caring that much. But I mean, as an artist, you're sort of like, are you doing the right thing? Because like I said, there's a natural thing to that, and it was nice to be recognized by somebody with big commercial interests that maybe I could serve.
For sure. Absolutely. I think that experience sounds very like validating, and just would have given you such a boost of confidence, like
100%,
and I mean, even when I read that on your profile, I was just like, what? I was like,
I know.
songwriting for Rihanna? Like, what is the story behind this? So
Totally.
thanks
Yeah.
for sharing. And like, that's
Yeah.
so cool that you got to do that and like have
Yeah.
that experience in like, you know, the commercial world. And
I'm
I
really,
mean,
it's just honoring who I am. It's honoring that 7-year-old that wrote with his dad
yeah,
or went to the studio with his mom and just going, I, that it's just kind of like it's in me to do that. And that was really, and not to mention just the fact of being such a huge Michael Jackson fan when I was a kid, and just
right.
getting, you go in and like his actual silver glove is on in a
Really?
display in the foot, and it's just like the little monkey, the stuffed monkey that he had when he was recording
Okay.
Thriller, like all this stuff. Um so it's a bit of a paradox,
Yeah.
because you want to grow, you want to rebel against that, even in a way where you're
Right.
like, I want to create stuff that's like more touching into punk rock roots. Like I would never listen to any of the music
Right.
that I was
Okay.
writing.
I see that like
You know
from
what
the
I mean?
background that you've come from. I can see that for sure.
I
Yeah.
would never listen, sit and put on a Rihanna record. Really, just not me. Not
Yeah.
what I'm into.
Fair.
But
Yeah.
tapping into that, or putting my own imprint, or the possibility of having my own imprint on a big record like that, of
Yeah.
course, is like that's
Yeah.
the dream, right? It's awesome to have something that you did have a lot of influence, or do something like what Umbrella did and be on the top of the world charts for like 19 weeks straight or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Incredibly validating. But now I'm just happy to have it as a little footnote on what I'm doing, and something to be kind of proud of, and just something to
Yes.
show what kind of experience and capacity that I
Yeah.
hold, and passion that I have for an experience that I had, and commitment to this
Yeah.
game, to this world, to this craft, and
Well, I mean,
yeah,
I feel like that experience really shows through all of the music that you've released. I mean,
yeah.
all
Thank
of
you.
your records are just so well done. Like the
Thank you.
quality of your songs are really great. And I love, like, I don't know if you've been the only person producing your songs, but
Yeah.
maybe there's different people that have worked on different things,
Sure.
but
Sure.
I just love there's like these really unique like touches of sound and textures in your songs that I'm
Hmm.
just like, that's like really cool. And just
Yeah. Okay.
um yeah, like you've got this kind of like classic pop but also soulful feel to your
Right.
songs.
Sure. Sure.
Like they're very satisfying to listen to,
Great.
like
That's what we want to hear.
yeah, yeah.
That's good. I'm glad that you said that they're satisfying, and I'm also glad that you said like the soulful bit. Like maybe that's what you're talking about. Like I think there's a texture that comes with our favorite records, right?
Sure.
There's textures, whatever that is for
Right.
you. It could be a nice jute rug texture, or it could be a shiny gold texture, or it could be, you know what I mean, or
Right.
anything in between, whatever
Yeah.
little ornaments or little piece of furniture that make you feel cozy, kind of like in this room. Like I wanted this room to be something that I remember from a kid, like around my grandma's house, so I
Right.
got a little jute
Oh,
thing,
okay. Oh, cool.
and the little Mexican blanket, around the
Okay.
chair, and just stuff that would just make you feel like super cozy. And I feel
Right.
like like for me, always attempting to make the music the same way,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. How do you kind of like, how does that kind of come to you? Like that when I was listening
Mm.
to your music, I was just like, how does he decide to choose those sounds? Like,
Hmm.
do you have any kind of research that you do, or does it just something that's in the moment inspires
I guess it
you?
depends what record you mean. This will be the fourth record coming out. It's called "Okay, Love You Bye." For this one, I did a ton of research before I went in.
Okay.
I was really going in. I had some really crazy references. Andy Schoaf was one.
Okay.
He made this song called "Halloween Store" that I'm just absolutely obsessed with.
Okay. I have to check it out.
Oh, the recording is just like, ugh. And
He's
what?
great.
Oh my
I love
God!
him.
And what
Yeah.
the cool thing was about him in this album, Norm, it's one of those. It's much like his other one, The Party, is a real concept record. So the whole thing is kind of like a movie and telling a story. And the more you play it, the more it's like reading a book. The second time you're like, whoa, this story is getting deeper and deeper and
Yeah.
deeper. But an interesting thing is that and he's from Estevan, Saskatchewan too. I think
Okay.
Estevan.
Okay.
So he's from around my neck of the
Yeah.
woods. So he's sort of this like frail, kind of like really intelligent hipster white artist guy that's just really folk, right? And we know of him as like a real folk artist. But the thing about, I don't know if it's from Saskatchewan or what the hell, but like the juxtaposition, he got Neil H. Pogue to mix it, who mixed, who's like from Atlanta or something. He mixed like all the like a ton of hip hop, like a lot of hip hop stuff, Dr. Dre and like Outkast and
wow,
it's like super hard hitting bass, R&B hip hop stuff.
Right. So what's
and
the
for
connection
some
there?
reason, Andy Schoaf chose him to do, because Andy Schoaf self records all of his own stuff too. Cello, like the whole bit, painstakingly. Doesn't even play piano, but he does it till he can get it.
Wow.
So he knows exactly what he wants. Sends it to Neil H. Pogue of all the mixers in all the land, even though his music doesn't sound at all like that.
No.
So that's what the juxtaposition is, what fascinates me.
Right.
It's the Stevie Wonder doing a Willie Nelson song.
Right.
You know, it's that weird thing where always growing up, I told you my parents were both musicians. So my mom was heavily into R&B at the time. So I grew up as a young kid listening to Whitney Houston, Anita Baker, and knowing all the Pointer Sisters, all these like records. And then on my dad's side, it was all like Hoyt Axton, Ricky Skaggs, you know, all these bluegrass and country things.
Yeah.
So it was like a crazy contrast. It's like one speaker's doing this and one speaker's doing that, you know. My granddad was like a crazy yodeler cowboy guy, whereas on my mom's side, my granddad was a band leader in the British Army for a while.
Crazy. Okay.
So there's all these like opposing cultural things, in a way.
Yeah. And you know, now that you say all of that, like one of your songs is coming to mind that kind of has like, you do have kind of this bluesy, but then, you know, we can jump to another song and it's very classic soul kind of sounding. What was the song that I was listening to on the way here? Where you're at? It has like this beautiful,
I don't have a song
like
called Where You're At.
Okay.
Am I the right artist for today's?
I can't remember.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah. You're Scott, right?
I'm Scott. Yes.
Okay.
Where I'm At. I gotta write a song called Where I'm At.
No, I can't remember. Anyways, I can't remember the song name. But
okay, no worries.
There was like this lap steel, like.
Ooh. Oh, maybe it's
bluesy.
Maybe it's Won't Be Back. Won't Be Back. Could be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's from
Where You're At. Won't Be Back.
Won't Be Back.
Yeah.
Won't Be Back.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that. Like,
thank you.
The slide guitar in that is just really nice. Like the blend of your vocals and like.
Yeah. Again, that's, I don't know. It's like.
Do you mix your all your own songs?
I didn't mix the first 3 albums. There was a guy named Diego Medina that mixed the albums 2 and 3.
Okay.
He's a guy that was in Calgary, he's done he's in the East Coast.
Okay.
He's done a lot of cool stuff. Thrush Hermit, Joel Plaskett, these kind of East Coast bands.
Yeah.
They're Canadian kind of royalty. I mixed my latest one.
Okay.
Yeah, I decided that I wanted to do that after a couple of years of really going in, learning about that and really loving that.
Right.
Procrastinating.
Yes.
So yeah, I mixed the last one.
Okay.
But the Won't Be Back, I didn't mix that. But,
okay.
Yeah. But I appreciate you saying that about that. That's one that doesn't, come up a lot.
Yeah. No, I mean, I love I'm a sucker for blues like that. When I moved here to Vancouver, that's what I wanted to do. I want to sing the blues. I want to be a blues singer. Yeah. So I never kind of imagined myself being like an indie folk singer. Whoa. I wanted to do blues. And I mean, the band, my project Mudfunk was mainly like
Sounds like that would
alternative
have been
rock soul
okay.
kind of vibe. Like we were covering Sharon Jones and
Scratch
stuff
that.
like
Oh, okay.
that.
Scratch
Yeah.
that itch of the blues singer.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
the guitar player that I had met in audio engineering school, he was a blues guitar player. So it was an
Okay.
immediate, just like, I want to sing the blues and
Whoa.
you're a blues guitar player. Like, let's make music.
That's
And
very cool.
that's kind of how that all started. But so I'm, you know, I'm a
Takes
sucker
a
for blues.
certain attitude to be
Yeah.
able to, and a boldness to be able to sing that kind of music.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
For sure. Yeah. I think so.
Some people
I think
have some people
so.
that try and sing blues have all the boldness and none of the sense about them.
Right.
So it's really cool that
Yeah.
a vocalist like such as yourself, I've been admiring a little bit since before we met, is like, oh, I didn't know that. I'm just finding that out now that,
Yeah.
oh, she's got that boldness in her. Okay, cool. That's
I
good.
mean, yeah, I think, for me, blues, I just like, I love the blues still, but it doesn't hit my heart as much as it did back then. Like
I hear you. Yeah.
I
You
I
went through a
think I was
phase.
struggling a lot in my life. And so the blues like spoke to me, that I was like,
Yeah.
the blues is all about that, and so I felt so drawn because I felt so seen in that music, that there's a struggle and then, sad and like, it's the blues.
I kind of
But
think of it as
there's,
the opposite, to be honest with you.
well, I
You
think
come to know that.
it's like, yeah, like there is that kind of, where that music originated from was struggle, right?
Yeah,
And the place in which that genre originated from is from that. And I the guitar player I was working with, he put it really well, that he's like, I just love how blues acknowledges like the pain and the sadness, but there's always like a way out, and that's kind of how they end the songs a lot of the time, is that it's like this kind of like, this sucks, but it's going to be okay. And there's like a way of kind of like communicating that. So, which makes sense, with, where it all came from. And so now I love it still, but like I don't feel as like drawn to sing that style of music anymore. So yeah, I think we're drawn to different types of genres and styles, like as artists, like through different maybe periods of our life.
Yeah, definitely.
And so that was
and
kind of my journey.
It's not mutually exclusive. It's all connected. So no matter what you sing, you're always gonna have some of that in there, whether you're conscious of it or not.
Yeah, like what's your take on the blues? Like,
oof, I have it's a bit of a complicated thing, right? Because when I started out and I fell in love with it, got obsessive like I do with like some of us artists do. We just go down this path and we're like, oh my God, it's our whole life's about this for right now.
Yeah.
So I went from being a grunge kid to fall in love with Little Walter, Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf. And I got to experience a lot of that, going down and playing these blues clubs in Chicago and getting to back up some of my heroes like Hubert Sumlin, who was literally Howlin' Wolf's guitar player. And, really funny story. We got invited down to the south side of Chicago for a jam after a gig one time. And I was 19 or 20, green as hell. We were having an off day and we hadn't done laundry forever. So all I had was my African dashiki that I bought at a fringe festival in Saskatoon. So I literally went to the south side of Chicago, like deep into the south side, with my drumsticks in my back pocket, invited down by this other, black person, whatever, to come down. And you're invited to this place called Larry's. And I show up and it's like a freaking family affair. The grandkids are sitting in the stage watching the grandparents play the blues, and it's electric, right? There's 300 people in there, and it's like, and I show up in my fucking dashiki, this little white kid from Saskatchewan.
Oh my God.
And I sit down and I'm like immediately nervous, of course, and I just start drinking like doubles and triples and stuff to like get the liquid calmness.
Yeah.
And this guy's like 7 foot tall. He gets off the stage. I swear to God, he's like 7 feet tall, and he's got a big purple zoot, like a big purple suit on, and an eye patch and a saxophone. He just got off the stage. And these guys are like touring band members of like Buddy Guy and like Clapton, Eric Clapton's band sometimes, and like some really heavy guys, right?
Wow.
Chicago, like royalty blues guys.
Yeah.
And he walks past where I'm sitting, and then he stops, and he looks over, and he starts going like this. Think you're pretty bad, eh, boy? He starts going like this.
Oh my God.
Literally thought I was not gonna make it out of there alive. So to answer your question, it's like when I got out of that scenario and I started to get more into songwriting, much like you wanted to be a blues singer, you wanted to experience that whole diaspora, that whole craft, that whole culture or vibe or connection, whatever you want to say, right? But then once you kind of like grow out of that or something, or once you evolve out of that back into kind of just more who you are right now, you're playing, you're tapping into something different. For me, I almost had a complex about it for a while. I almost looked back at it with a little bit of shame. I almost looked back at it with a little bit of thinking that I was appropriating.
Oh, okay.
So it was that whole thing,
Right.
especially when it came to Black Lives Matter and all the shootings. I kind of felt like, for the most part, white folks dedicating themselves to blues was a little bit, unless done really tastefully and unless actually lived to some degree, was like people trying it on or as a genre, or people considering it to be a market. Oh, right. The blues market, that's, I hear that's not a bad market, right? Shit like that. I just thought, to me, that's just straight up appropriation.
Right.
So I almost wanted to distance myself from it and not,
right.
and just kind of be like, it's always going to be part. I love it. I don't need to tell anybody or justify myself to anybody that I love it. I know who I am about it and the influence it's given me. And now but I love country music the same, and I love pop music the same, and soul music the same. So I've come full circle now to where I'm like really loving it again, and I'm it's okay, it's okay to be to love it for what it is. So that's my path with it. That's my path with it.
Good.
So I love it.
It sounds like you found like a level of self-acceptance with it, and like it feels okay for you to.
Well,
to
I went through
back
school too, so I learned about the Jim Crow stuff, and I learned about blackface and stuff like that, and it's like pretty sensitive guy when it comes to certain things, and that's definitely the racial thing and the racial stereotype typical things are kind of a sensitive topic to me, especially when it comes to music.
Fair.
You know what I mean? I feel like it's cultural. I feel like you have to live certain things. You can't just pick them off the shelf and try them on necessarily without
fair enough
having your foot in it somehow.
Yeah, absolutely. And that I feel like is a whole other conversation for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry about that.
No,
it is a big
no. I mean, that's fine. Like we've definitely touched on it, so I think it's good. So you released. Let's jump back into your music. You released All Them Girls.
Yeah.
And Indio.
Blues and Indio. Yeah.
I actually haven't seen all the tracks on your latest release, but those two songs have been released.
Yeah.
I'm seeing you kind of slowly show those out online. And is there more songs on that? There's a new one
coming out on the 25th called First Love, along with the whole album.
Okay.
So the whole album's going to be released on the 25th
of
November.
Oh my gosh, that's so soon. That is in a couple weeks.
Yeah, so shooting video for the third single now, and then that'll be ready for the 25th. So the third single, the third piece of The Waterfall, along with the rest of the record, will be out on the 25th.
Amazing.
So there's 10 songs,
Amazing. And all you wrote all those songs?
Yep, except for one I did a cover of Supertramp's song.
Nice.
It's the logical song I chose to do.
Nice.
But
Nice.
I wrote
And
9 of them.
did that all happen like here in this studio?
Not so much. So I was living in Gastown, and then we ended up actually flying back to Winnipeg to do the bed tracks in a studio called No Fun Club with a band. And then I took those bass and drum tracks, brought them back here, and
Nice.
and did everything else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Amazing.
Had some background singer guests and
Yeah.
pedal steel guests and a little bit of keys guests and so on. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
for the most part, I did the all the overdubs for the guitars and the vocals and stuff like that. Yeah, which was actually different. Before, I was used to doing the drums and the bass and everything myself.
Yeah.
So this was a different experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's what I did. Yeah.
And this collection of songs, is there any kind of like theme to it, or are they just kind of songs you've written over the last like few years, or are some of them from long
collection of just a collection of stuff over the last quite a few years? My last release was 2017. So
okay.
So I feel like since about 2019 or something like that, I've been slowly collecting these. In fact, India was probably written in like 2017 or something like that, 2018, down in LA.
Okay.
So it's taken that many years to get that going.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
it takes a while to get songs together
Yeah.
and like
this
them
one
all
this one was a
finished.
crazy trip, just because since I wrote them, I had gone through a separation. I had finished jazz school, so I did a 4-year jazz degree.
Okay.
And then I traveled to Nashville.
Yeah.
So I did that whole round trip to Nashville, which is close to a year.
Yeah.
Went through all the pandemic, moved to Vancouver, went to Winnipeg. It was been so many. This album has covered so many chapters of my life. So it's been interesting. Yeah.
Cool.
Put
how many songs are there?
So there's 10 songs.
10.
Yeah.
Okay.
10 songs in total. And I don't know what to say about it. It's coming out right away.
Yeah.
It's coming out right away.
I'm excited to hear it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there like a title track or
Okay, Love You Bye? No, there isn't actually.
Okay.
No, there's not. Okay. I always come up with quirky little album names that are generally not titles of anything in the song. So
okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So Nature Girl was the last one. Before that, it was Year of Septembers. And then this one is Okay, Love You Bye. You just hope to find something that encapsulates the vibe.
Yeah. And are you hoping to tour this album?
I'd like to,
year?
yeah.
Is that the
It'll
plan?
be next year, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think once I finally get this out and get it get sort of the actual release of it out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to focus more on getting a group together, or at least getting a situation where I can do some touring. Just start small. Go to Calgary, go to Edmonton, go to Saskatoon, go to Winnipeg, that sort of thing. On the other hand, I'm in no big crazy rush to hop on the road.
Okay.
I've done a lot of road stuff. I'm at a point where it's like I have no real desire to just jump in a vehicle and sleep on the side of the and sleep on couches, shit like that. I have no desire. If I can't make music good enough to warrant touring, then I'm not gonna tour.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. So so to answer your question, if I can't get this album to where it does something and it kind of like, oh cool,
yes.
Maybe open up for another artist on a string of dates or something like that, I'm not going to force that. I'm going to get back in the studio and just try to create better music.
Right.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's kind of the way I think about it.
Awesome. Well, I'm just feeling so honored to have sat down and talked with you, because you just have done so much, and you've experienced, like, in my opinion, like the dream, and you've got to be in rooms that are really amazing, and Yeah, I
Some stuff has
just
felt like it's paid off experiential wise for sure.
right. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm glad you're here now in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And I heard that you're doing like you've done some workshops.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
that's my newest thing.
you
Yeah.
did the Don't Sweat the Technique, which was the most recent one.
Yeah.
And but you're hosting some. I've saw something on your Instagram that you were hosting some
Hmm.
in the past, maybe.
Yeah, maybe in the
Um,
past. I've done some math. So I do a lot of coaching and mentoring as well. So I'll do songwriting coaching, a lot of vocal coaching, um, and then kind of hybrid production coaching, trying to get people who um, I just like to work with. I'd like to try to serve as best I
yeah.
can with that.
Yeah.
So and I also have a little bit of an entrepreneurial spirit when it comes to that. Like I just wanting to again serve, right? So
Yeah.
if that's not me playing a guitar and singing to people all the time, then I feel like I have enough capacity in my life to be able to use some of my experiences, some of the miles I've traveled and the years I've
Yeah.
spent trying to really get better and better and better at the craft.
Yeah.
Not to mention producing and mixing and going through the whole process to be
Yeah.
able to sort of help other people do that. So um, I created that workshop, Don't Sweat the Technique, in order to sort of scratch that itch and really try to
Yeah.
see if that's something that was going to be of service
Right.
to the community, and that worked out pretty good. And I've done some master classes. I did a master class at SAE, and yeah, it's just another side to me. I did
Yeah.
some education courses before, and I was um,
Are you going to keep doing it
yeah. I'd
or
like to. Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
it's a heck of a lot of work. I'm going to have
Yeah.
to re reassess and then kind of start from the start. I feel like in Vancouver, it's very tricky. I feel like the community here is very much the community in Vancouver is of necessity. So it's there's a lot of people spread out in
Yeah.
Vancouver, and there's a lot of great people in Vancouver, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot on offer in Vancouver. And I guess what I was trying to do with Don't Sweat the Technique is I was trying to differentiate between what I was offering and then like a lot of sort of there's a ton of like creative hangs and creative there's so many different people
Yes.
throwing them
Yeah.
on and stuff. So I really wanted to try to do something that was more engaging than just show up in a room and sort of hang and trade phone numbers and then or
Right.
take away the speed dating vibe of it or something,
Right.
where it's like the transactionalness of
Right.
like, what do you do? Oh, okay, well, I don't really need that. So, it's like, um, I wanted it to be, um, I wanted it to be a thing where I could take up a bit of space and let people know that, you know what, I probably do have a lot more experience than you. And I promise you, if you're in a space to want to get to level up a little bit and to,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? If you really want to learn this craft, I'll tell you just a quick story
Sure.
about that. Is like we're at one of Nicholas's songwriting hangs, and there was a young woman who it was her turn to share, and she says she got behind the how he sets up the piano, and she was like, "Would you mind if I just play it over the Bluetooth speaker?"
Mhm.
And we were kind of like, "Yeah, okay, I guess, sure, that's fine if you're comfortable with that." And she played this song, and it just sounded like awful,
Mm.
like it was really bad.
Mm.
Um, so but of course, it's such a supportive thing, and like it got done, and okay, I like what you did there, and I like what you did that, and but you could tell most people were like really confused about what was that? Couldn't really hear the song. There was so much going on in there.
Oh, yeah.
She had everything in the kitchen sink,
Right.
and then me or somebody else said like, Are you able to just play it on piano? Can you show it to us?
Right.
She's like, yeah, I suppose it's not really as finished sounding. Right? I'm like, let me just try it.
Yeah.
She tried it, and then people were like tearing up. It was one of the most beautiful songs, right?
Oh,
Like
wow.
you could
Yeah.
just really hear the song when she tried to put it onto this medium. She found a way to make it into hot garbage. It was like so far away from the essence of the of what she was
Right.
going for
Right.
and what
Yes.
touched in with the audience.
Yeah.
So uh, that was a big part of my inspiration.
Mm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like to be able to try to in the best way that I can to get people going from because I know what it's like.
Oh,
It's
and
like
I like that, I know
you know
what
what I
you're
mean?
trying to say for sure, because I mean, like I said, like from knowing myself as well, it's just great to have other people to
Mm-hmm.
bounce your ideas off of, because
Yeah.
sometimes you just get so entrenched with your own work that like you can't hear
Yeah.
you're just too in it, and it's
Totally.
good to have that, like that outside opinion
Mm-hmm.
to just kind of clear up the muck
It's a
sometimes,
catch
and
22 though,
right.
because you do need to go through those stages in order to get to a place where you can go, I don't want to do that anymore. If you've
Yeah.
never experienced what it's like to obsessively squash your song your beautiful song into a piece of crap, then you don't know what it feels like to go, oh, okay, I know what that's like. Now
Yeah.
I want to not do that
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, for
So
sure.
some people just need great guidance right from the get-go or
Yes.
collaborations right from the get-go.
Yes. Yeah.
And then there's those other personalities who are like really wanting a tight creative control over what they do. They don't want a lot of
Yeah.
outside influence. And that's a long path. I'm here to tell you. It's a crazy
Yeah.
long path. But
Well, they probably wouldn't come to your workshop then, right?
what do you
They
mean?
probably wouldn't come to your workshop if they didn't want an opinion, right, on the matter.
I suppose so. I suppose
Yeah.
so. Nicholas, I think it was Nicholas or another friend had to kind of remind me as well, though, is that you know what
Yeah.
it is a lot about community. It is
Yes.
people do
Yeah.
want to show up for community.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is which is great, but it's sort of like again, I wanted it to be. I wanted to try and make it where it's a real educational thing and not so much of just a
Yes.
social thing.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah.
Like the social
for
thing
sure.
for me is like it's a byproduct of showing up.
Yeah.
You're gonna meet people, you're gonna have lunch and say, hey, how are you doing? And if in fact it's probably a little more organic than to presuppose that people are just gonna go in a room and connect. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's kind of like you need something, in my opinion, you kind of need something to connect over,
Right. Yeah.
right? As
Fair.
opposed to just
Fair.
your own transactional idea of what you need or what that other person needs. It's like,
Right.
what if we get together over a performance? What if we get together and then we talk and and then it's about discovery and curiosity as opposed to
Yes.
presupposition and
Yeah.
predisposed opinions about and all these expectations.
Yes. Yeah.
So, but bottom line, my whole goal was to get a situation where you could come for kind of a full day boot camp.
Yeah.
In one of Canada's best studios.
Yeah.
And get to touch in with some really great educators. With Nicholas, I think he's one of the best teachers I could imagine. Having him as a teacher is like such a fantastic thing.
Yeah.
And I was just hoping, like I said, my style and my methodology and what I kind of had worked on as far as my material or pedagogy was going to really was going to equal, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to go home and like, now I know what an EQ is, or you know what I mean? Or like, now I know, maybe I don't need an EQ for now. Maybe I just need to worry about my lyrics for a bit and not touch the EQ.
Yeah.
So it literally is don't
Yeah.
sweat the technique. It was really about, we need to sort of remember why we're making music. We need to remember that this isn't about, creating stuff for the commercial machine or for the industry.
Yes.
We need to take our head out of some of us need to take our head out of the industrial implications of our craft.
Yes.
And just craft.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, they stand in the shadow, their own shadow, of thinking that there's somebody on their shoulder at all times, going, that wasn't quite good enough. You need to be better. You need to do this. You need to do
Mm-hmm.
that. That's not commercial enough. That's not, that'll
Right.
never sell.
Yeah. Yeah.
That kind of
Yeah.
shit. You're never going to get on that playlist. It's
Yeah.
these kind of things, especially as the technology gets more and more, moves quicker and quicker. I think there's the potential for that to hurt future art.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's always going
Yeah.
to be the kids that are like, they get it already.
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
don't care what anybody thinks.
Yeah.
But there's some of those ones that are like, have a real gem inside them, that are just holding a bit of a chip, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Whether it be they don't give themselves permission to just be and not have to produce anything.
Right. Yeah.
Or whether they're actually probably a really great singer, but they got stuck with a bad coach, or a bad somebody that wanted to teach them opera when they want to sing soul.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you, I'm afraid that, if you sing opera, there's almost zero applications to soul music, because it's a cultural thing. It almost none of those skills apply to
Yeah.
that other thing.
Yeah.
If you want to sing soul, then you kind of have to go and learn soul.
Yes.
If you want to learn
Yeah.
opera, then if you want to sing opera, you got to learn opera.
Yeah.
I've seen so many people that come and go, well, yeah, my friend saw an opera singer, that said that you should probably do this or do that. I'm like, well, I want to sing Neil Young. Well, we're like trying to put a square, like, it just doesn't make any sense, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of times it's about getting people to start at the start, because the influence of Instagram, the influencers, what the industry is telling you over media is that
there's a lot of noise. Yeah.
There's so much noise.
Yeah.
You have to post twice a day.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of noise out there.
So this, despite my sort of like assertive, my sometimes over assertiveness, is really the goal is to try to create a safe space, to create a space where people are like, where younger people or people who are aspiring can really discern the noise from the art.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not to say that everybody has to. Like, a lot
Right.
of people should have industrial aspirations if that's what they're really going for.
Well, it's part of the package, right? I mean, we have to consider the business side of it as well, as much as, we try to be on the journey of trying to be as vulnerable and authentic as we possibly can be, right?
100%,
so
100%.
Yeah. And it sounds like, this is work that you that those people really walked away with something. At least you'd like to hope so, right? So
at least I hope so. Some more than others, and others were, everybody was really, it's something I really want to do, but it's a ton of work, and I don't want the message to get lost in over in it being laborious, like overly laborious. I want it to be something that's really just the right time, the right place, the right
It sounds like well, I mean, you have so much knowledge to share, and
I love to teach. I do love to teach,
and I love that you're wanting to get out there and try and impart some of your wisdom onto some people here in the music community. So I love that you're doing that. I'm so excited to listen to the rest of your album when it comes out. And just thank you so much for letting me into your home, into your studio.